When 47-year-old Captain Shane West came to Kenya in November last year, he had one agenda in mind: to celebrate the wedding of his longtime friend and colleague, Captain Andrew Little, in Naivasha. But what was to be a fun affair was to change his life in a split second.
It was on the day of the wedding, after the lunch, after the reception, of course, the lunch and so on. We were assisting with setting up the sound system and all that sort of stuff for the bands and so on. And both Sav and Shah and myself went into Naivasha to collect some cash to pay for the band. Came back to the event, and Savan was actually just behind me by about 10 or 15 feet. And unbeknownst to me, he was actually carrying a firearm, concealed, for which he had a permit. But the damn thing was loaded, so for whatever reason he's pulled it out, which I didn't notice, or anybody else that was standing there. It was discharged and hit me in the shoulder.
A 27-year-old career as a pilot was brought to a halt without warning. His only reflection of the incident: painful.
It's very frustrating, because when you're used to being sort of independent, mobile, and moving around, and now being stuck in either a bed or a damn wheelchair. That knocks you about a bit, both physically and mentally to a degree.
And the man that shot him, a rich businessman who both Captains West and Little had known for 8 months and invited to the wedding only for things to go completely wrong.
He'd been arrested, the gun was confiscated, and he got out on bail, I think, that very evening. And that's been about it. I spent about a week in ICU.
It was at this point that the situation went from bad to worse. An agreement was reportedly arrived at where the man that shot him was to cater for Shane's bills. An agreement that was allegedly not honoured.
To see me, he was apologetic about shooting me, which is hard to imagine. And himself and his father sort of pledged to say, okay, we'll take care of everything for you. It was an accident, so we'll take care of all the medical bills. Loss of income, which of course I've incurred as a result of not being able to continue with the contract in Khartoum. And I think I was there for 6 weeks, I think, in the hospital. 5, 6 weeks, I can barely remember. And they never actually paid anything. Well, they paid $1 million towards the hospital bill, but after that they just stopped. We lost full contact with them.
Captain Little, at whose wedding West got shot, notes that the pace at which the matter has been handled by the police has been unsatisfactory, save from this: a letter that confirms the incident took place and that the suspect was in custody after the shooting. Naivasha OCPD Ernest Obonyo confirmed the incident, explaining why it has taken 2 months to pursue the case.
Yeah, we were looking for him because he was given a cash bail to come. And then he will come. As he comes, if the file is ready, he will be taken to court. If the P3 was not in the file, then the file was not ready.
Captain West remains optimistic that he will regain use of his limbs.
Pretty sure I'll get up walking again. It might take 6 months or 3 months or even a year, it doesn't matter, but in which case I expect to sort of resume a full sort of normal life. There will be after effects, no doubt. Something like this, you won't recover to the to the fullness of where you were before.
But what he wants more is justice, and for the man that confined him to a wheelchair to take responsibility for his actions.
Playing around like bloody children with firearms and discharging into people. It's not the first time he's been seen doing this sort of nonsense. He had a bullet in there. It got aimed at me somehow or another, and I was hit. So you can put 2 and 2 together yourself if you like. I got my own theories.
For now, all Captain West can do is sit and hope that justice will eventually prevail. For KISS TV, I'm Jackie Maribe.